So what went wrong? We've been hearing from the president this morning about how they broke the deal. What went wrong? Because this is a big change from where we were just last Saturday.
It sure is. 2 weeks ago, we really thought we saw an end game to these trade talks. We weren't sure if we were going to get a comprehensive deal, but it seemed like both sides were committed to reaching an agreement by the time Vice Premier Liu He arrived in Washington, scheduled for today and tomorrow. Then, like you said, last weekend, President Trump tweeted, said, we're going to raise tariffs on Friday. And in fact, the Chinese overnight, like you said, acknowledged that and said China will take countermeasures as necessary to protect its interests, although it regrets U.S. unilateral action. These are concerns that happen in the final stages of trade negotiations, whether there's some backpedaling, some reneging on prior commitments, and it seems like that's exactly what we have here today. Both sides returning to a little bit more brinksmanship rather than focusing on coming to an agreement by Friday. And it looks like an agreement won't be reached that will stave off this imposition of tariffs by the U.S. side on Friday, then, of course, inviting Chinese retaliation. We are in this thing for a little bit longer.
Okay, as you suggest, there are other trade negotiations that have sort of gone a little sideways right at the very end, although we haven't had one between the number one and the number two economies in the world over things that are this important. Is there a middle course between ultimately breaking down and getting a deal by Friday? And that is it possible the United States might say, you know what, it's going well enough over the weekend, we'll extend it 72 hours, say?
That's what happened last time. You're absolutely right. So, as you recall, President Trump and President Xi met together in December and made an agreement that the U.S. proposed tariff rate would not go up on January 1st, as the two sides engaged in 90 days of intensive negotiations. And then at the end of February, when we were looking at that 90-day deadline coming up, the U.S. side said negotiations continue. We're going to postpone imposition of tariffs so that the negotiations can continue after April 2nd. It seems like the U.S. side is saying, listen, now we really need to see progress or else these tariffs are going into place. The U.S. side clearly feels the need for this additional leverage to bring the Chinese back to a real set of agreements.